Hello everyone, my name is Kayla. First, let me make an introduction of my team. We are from Japan-based automobile company, mainly responsible for the development of the enterprise. Our automobile company is mainly specialized in producing and selling automobiles and auto parts. The main purpose of our report is to develop a new production base to expand our company's international influence, and we put this center in Malaysia. We believe that the technology, the geographical location, and the sales market of Malaysia will be conducive to our growth. Next, we will make a specific analysis based on the background information to give our reasons for choosing Malaysia. First, let's look at the political factors. To understand Malaysia, we should start with the political system. First of all, Malaysia is a federal capitalist country. Its main political system is constitutional monarchy, and it adopts parliamentary democracy. The highest authority in Malaysia is the super head of state. Based on the fact that Malaysia is a federal state, it adopts the rotation system. After learning about its political system, we find that the welfare treatment given by the government to the foreign investors, labor equality policy, empowerment of the expatriates, and attractive tax incentives. For foreign investors, they could hold 0% of equity in all investments. Foreign companies are also allowed to employ expatriates, so that they can reduce the cost of our labor. There are also many tax incentives to attract many foreign investors, so that it can also reduce our costs. On the other hand, in terms of political risk, these two factors cannot be ignored. Inter-ethnic reassessment and the corruption perception index. In terms of Malaysia's political system, race is a significant force in politics, so there may be political conflicts. For example, the implementation of new economic policy advances the standing of the parliamentary and border and fair treatment, which may cause dissatisfaction of other races. According to the CPI table of past decade, although Malaysia's CPI is relatively high, it has been slowing down since 2014. Finally, because Malaysia's power is related by the federal system, the decentralized power is conducive to the freedom of party. So in fact, it seems to be more stable. Anyway, any region has the possibility of political risk, so Malaysia is already a region worth of development.
Hello everyone, my name is Polly. Firstly, I will introduce economic system of Malaysia. Malaysia is a mixed economic system which includes a large number of private freedom and some government interference. In addition, Malaysia is belonging to emerging countries and potential to become newly industrialized. Therefore, Malaysia is a country that is suitable for our new manufacturing base overseas. Next, we are talking about economic background of Malaysia. In 2017, GDP was $933 billion. In 2015, GDP was $845 billion. GDP grows at 10% from 2015 to 2017. At the same time, GDP per capita was increased 7.3%. With these increasing economic statistics, we assume that Malaysia's overall economic activity and their standards of living are improving. The overall attractiveness of Malaysia's GDP and PPP is positive and suitable to a new manufacturing site development due to the positive economic growth. Next, we are talking about purchasing power parity of Malaysia. We use GNI to reflect difference in the cost of living. From 2008 to 2014, GNI per capita are increasing stably. The growth in 2014, it means that the local purchasing power parity rises. Purchasing power parity of Malaysia is 525 billion in 2013, so more and more companies are seeking to invest in Malaysia. In addition, increased purchasing power has increased sales of locally sold cars. This is a good time to do automobile manufacturing in Malaysia for us. Next, we are talking about import and export of Malaysia. In 2017, the estimated export amount was 187.9 billion. Meanwhile, the estimated import value was $160.7 billion in 2017, which since the amount of export exceed the amount of import. Malaysia had a positive trade balance. What's more, the amount of export and import were increasing continuously, and the difference between export and import will also increased. We envisage that both of import and export will become increased in the future, and the difference between export and import may also be positive. For us to prepare for the automotive industry in Malaysia, we have many ways on automotive sales. And other economic factors, we choose innovation because nowadays Malaysia is still highly dependent on low-tech intensive industries, and there is almost no innovation or research and development of technologies. So our company's goal is to break the tradition and innovate the automobile manufacturing industry. Our company will send co-technicians from Japan headquarters to Malaysia to reform its employees' technical operation and introduce the new machines in research and development for better new cars.
Now let's talk about the exchange rate. The exchange rate has been changed in the form of fluctuation in the 10 years. For early 2010 and to the middle 2011, the exchange rate fell by nearly 0.5 ringgits per US dollars, but after which it fluctuated silently around 3 ringgits per US dollars until 2013. Between 2013 to 15, the exchange rate showed a significant increase, rising from 3.27 to 4.15 ringgits per US dollars, except for a silent decline in 2014. The exchange rate in 2016 showed a big fluctuation, but the final exchange rate was still 4.15 ringgits per US dollars. And at 2017, the ringgit is also around 4.32 per US dollars. And as the exchange rate fluctuated, foreigner investors will increase or decrease their investment. For example, from 2013 to 2014, the exchange rate rose too fast and showed no downward trend. During the period, the foreigner investment will increase significantly as the advantage of the exchange rates of the lower exchange rate diminishes. We will earn less. And now let's talk about the tax rate. Malaysia has beaten nearly 80 countries to become the world's most attractive place to invest, according to its environment and the economic growth, and the government to create more attractive investment environment. It gives the following measures. The first one, reduce 70 to 100% income risk to 5 to 10 years. The next one is 60% to 100% tax expansion for investment ranging from 5 to 10 years according to the amount of capital expenditure. The third one is import tax expansion for real material and parts. The fourth one is import duty and sales tax expansion for machine and equipment. According to the 270 World Investment
report by USTAD, Malaysia attacked 11.121 billion of foreigner investment in 2015. By the end of 2015, Malaysia's stock of foreigner investment was up to 170 billion. In 2016, Malaysia approved investment of 207.9 billion and up to 7.7% year-on-year, involving 4,972 projects, and foreigner direct investment increased 33.4% year-on-year. According to the above investment policy, if our company want to build a factory in Malaysia, we will get a large tax policy, which is not available in most regions. This point is more attractive. And now let's talk about the country invest in education. From the website, we can know that Malaysia has a complete education system from preschool to higher education. The Malaysian government is committed to promoting Malaysia as a regional center in excellent education. The government provides 11 years of free primary and secondary education for the whole population. The age of first-year primary school is 7 years old, and 6-year primary school education is compulsory. With such a sound education system, people are highly educated, so availability of labor with necessary skills is a lot. And now let's talk about the next part, labor. The supply of labor force is 14.94 million in 2017. It is ranked 39th in the world. Compared with the total population in Malaysia, the proportion of the working population is very high. Therefore, our car manufacturing industry does not need to worry about the worker in Malaysia. Now, let's talk about the last part about membership. Malaysia joined the General Agreement of Tariffs and Trade in 1957. It is a founding country of the WTO and also the Association of the Southeast Asian Nations. An open and fair global trade atmosphere has long been the goal of Malaysia's trade policy. On the one hand, Malaysia continues to have a multilateral trading system based on WTO rules as its goal. On the other hand, he is actively pushing regional and bilateral trade agreements, together with various ways strengthen the economic integration of world and the other countries in the region. So far, Malaysia signed the FTA for 6 countries, including Japan, Pakistan, India, New Zealand, Chile, and Australia. With the framework of ASEAN, Malaysia has signed regional trade agreements with South Korea, China, Japan, Australia, and New Zealand. On May 28, 2005, Brunei, Chile, New Zealand, and Singapore launched the TPP, and Malaysia joined the group in 2010 with Brunei. In the following years, Australia, Mexico, and Japan joined. In November 2012, at the 21st ASEAN Summer, 10 countries with 6 free area partners signed the Southeast Asian Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. Malaysia is an open economy that relies heavily on international trade. Under the influence of the multi-party trade agreement, Malaysia's domestic import and export has a great deal of preference, but also encourage foreigner investors.
Hello everyone, my name is Valentina. I'm going to introduce the legal system of Malaysia. First is labor law. Malaysia has developed into one of the most popular countries in Southeast Asia due to its favorable geographic location and the multilingual advantage of mixed Malay, Indian, and Chinese. Malaysia's labor law tend to be more on the side of employees. The main law in Malaysia's labor law is Employment Act 1955, which provides the protection only to local and foreign employees whose employee with a monthly salary of 2,000 MYR or less. Manual laborers, no matter how much they are paid, etc. If there is no contract between the employers and employees, it can go back to the basic labor law, which guaranteed employment even if there is no contract. Second is environment law. Malaysia has maintained rapid economic growth in past decades. Malaysia has transformed from an agricultural society to a newly industrial country. The consumption of resources increased sharply, followed by aggravation of environmental pollution. To solve this problem, the Malaysia government began to take measures to reduce pollution since 1970. One of the most important methods is established the 1974 Environmental Quality Standard. It provides a large legal basis for coordinating the national environmental management activities. Under this law, the Malaysian government also established the Environment Bureau. Third one is Consumer Protection Law. The Federation of Consumer Association of Malay was founded in 1973. FOMCA aims to ensure the sustainable development of Malaysian consumer movement, address consumer issues, promote consumers' rights, and provide advice and information to existing the consumers' organization to help them achieve the goal. Consumer Protection Act 1999 is an act to provide protection for consumer if the information of commodities mislead the consumers. Consumer may misunderstand the quality, nature, manufacturing process, and characterize. They can claim the compensation from the court. The last one is intellectual property law. In Malaysia, intellectual property rights are protected for patents, trademark, industrial design, copyright, geographic indication, and integrate circuit layout. Malaysia is a member of World Intellectual Property Organization. In Malaysia, the main law and regulation concerning patent protecting include the Patent Law 1983 and the Patent Rule 1986. According to this rule, the applicant can directly apply for a patent in Malaysia. That's all. Thank you.
I'm going to talk about the cultural factors and the natural factors. The first one is nature factors. Malaysia is a multi-ethnic and multi-religion country. Islam is the dominant religion here, with nearly 90% of the population believing in it. It calls for respect others' rights and deal with them justly. Be generous, which require earning profit justly without exploiting others and living up to contractual obligations. Therefore, local employees have a positive and serious working attitudes. Recruiting those employees with such excellent qualities is also conducive to the development of our company. While for local consumers, they are generally very frugal and live a simple life. In this way, we can more accurately position the local market. While for the Hofstadter's cultural dimensions, Malaysia with a score of 26 is lower than the score of Japan, which means Malaysia is a typical collectivism and feminine. Therefore, when employees are working, they will be very cooperative and group members like to take care of each other in exchange for absolute loyalty. Their relationship just like in a moral term, and they are also willing to take care of weak and caring for quality of life. With 41 score in long-term dimensioning, it means that Malaysia has a normative culture. People like establishing the absolute truth. Because they show great respect for their traditions. They have a relatively small purpose to save for the future, which means they will focus on achieving quick results. At 88 Scores, Japan is one of the most long-term orientation societies. Japanese see their life as a very short moment in a long history of mankind. The next part is about the nature factors. For the base factors, rubber is an essential product in the automobile industry. While Malaysia known as the Kingdom of Rubber, the industry accounts for 40% of the world's rubber production. Malaysia has a rainforest climate. It is suitable for the growth of a variety of tropical crops. Therefore, if we set up a factory in Malaysia, the supply of rubber is sufficient. It can also help us to increase the competitiveness. At the same time, due to the early planning time and rich experience, the industrial structure has a good adjustment. Malaysia also has a superior geographical location. It is convenient for us to trade with countries all over the world. And for the advanced factors, Malaysia's policy is to open up short-term labor. Large number of foreign workers have become an important part of Malaysia, and the government also encouraged them to come, so the cost of labor is much lower than it in another country. This factor can greatly reduce our cost. In addition, Malaysia is the largest car market in Asia. Therefore, manufacturing technology in Malaysia is very advanced. It also helps our company to enhance the development of the top technology. That's all. Thank you.
Hello teachers, my name is Yang. Now next I will show the competitor factors to you in the next. Before entering the market, our company has made a target survey to ensure that there will be too many competitors and we can expand our advantages. We found that in top 5 car sellers, Florida and Bolton are both local car manufacturers in Malaysia. Different from Bolton, Florida is entering profit according to the open door policies and have been the #1 car sellers in recent years in Malaysia. It was founded in 1992 and was focused on small cars. The company is devoted to selling affordable models and loved by locals. Within a few years, the company had overtaken Bolton. However, it is said that the company only have fewer than 10 models for customers to choose from. In our companies, if we want to enter the Malaysia's market, it needs to innovate and break through. Our company will focus on manufacturing and selling mid-sized cars. As a rural country of origin, the rough road restricted the access of large cars. There was no manufacturers focused on making mid-sized cars. There is no doubt that a lot of affordable mid-sized cars will be needed to transport materials. We have the responsibility and obligation to help local peoples to get cheaper transportation. Innovation is necessary for a company to survive for a long time. Therefore, we can regularly support some excellent professionals to go abroad for further study, learn from the technical core of other countries' automobile industry, and constantly improve our products. So in conclusion, through the previous my team members analyze, there is a great room for development and sales in Malaysia's automobile market. Culture factors give the collective honor management in Malaysia. We don't have to worry about the loss of excellent people. We can also have a team led by a great talented people, which will improve the work efficiency. For political aspects, enterprise can independently decide marketing strategies instead of being restricted by the government. The reduction of tax rate will also make the competition get lower because the price is very low. Meanwhile, grid loss protects the interests of investors and employees. Besides, Malaysia's superior nature environment also reduces costs and ensures the raw materials. In addition, manufacturing industry will form economies of scale. It will gradually reduce our costs. Therefore, the development of automobile manufacturing industry in Malaysia is a reasonable choice.
I'm Cici. Thanks for watching our presentation videos.
I'm Valentina. Thanks for watching our presentation videos.
I'm Polly. Thanks for watching our presentation.
I am Yang. Thanks for watching our presentation videos.
I'm Kayla. Thanks for watching our presentation videos.